Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riancho and it's time for their live stream. We're going to be doing some miniature schnauzers tonight. $3 best ball tournament. Let us begin. All right, this tournament dropped today and it is already just shy of 40% full. There's only a total of 37,200 total entrances. You have a 20 entry max, and I've already done 6 of these earlier today. So we're going to be doing at least 2, maybe 3, depending on how I'm feeling. But if you would like to join me, if you're interested in hopping into this lobby alongside me, get ready. I will maybe wait like 20 more seconds just as some people trickle in. But the advance rates on this are not bad. If you make it to the playoffs, you enter a 10-team group, top 2 advance, and then week 16 an 8-team group, top 2 advance as well. So you have a 20% chance, then a 25% chance in the playoffs, and then a 310 seat final. If you make the final, you only get $60. So you would get your entry fees back if you max this out just by making the final. So it goes up from there. Really, all the money is in the final. So keep that in mind. It maybe isn't like the best return on investment that you could possibly find. But at $3, hard to find a cheaper buy-in in the first place. But we've waited long enough. If you want to hop in, hit that button right now. Enter right now, and I will join in 3, 2, 1, and hopefully the delay is synced up. We can hop into the same one. I think I was the last person in this lobby. As soon as I joined, it was full. So maybe if you really want to join and your entry fees are limited, perhaps wait for the next one. But yeah, sometimes that's just how it is. Sometimes you're the last person to enter into these things. But we'll have more opportunities. Looks like Jamie's in here. Welcome in. Dev is also here. What's up, bro? Do I have the... Yeah, I have the chat going. Jamie and Dev, welcome in. But looks like there's another 420 friendly drafter at pick 10. The 420 flow. But based on the timing, I'm not expecting any of y'all to be drafting with me. So we'll have some more chances. But in the meantime, y'all can spectate. Pick 12, not the worst we could find. Not the worst possible, but we've been at the back end several times. I kind of know how this usually goes, but looks like Jamie's in another one at pick 8. Jason also in the overflow. Yeah, unfortunately, the timing just did not work out. That's always a bummer when you're the last or the first person and like y'all are the last person in the previous one. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. Dev is drafting puppies, probably miss out on the Schnauzer. Not the worst call. Like I said, the payouts aren't like elite on this. But at $3 a pop, it's definitely a little more enticing sometimes. Anyways, maybe the next one we'll do another Schnauzer, and then the last draft we'll probably do a third. Maybe that one will be a puppy. But so far, pretty normal. We have Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Bijan appears to like officially overtaken Saquon in the ADP. I kind of understand that. But here we are at the turn. I'm going to go with A-Chain for sure. I have A-Chain ranked as the highest among these 3 running backs. And then I have a lot of A-Chain Brian Thomas teams already, so maybe I don't repeat on that. You know what I'm going to do? Nah, feels a little bit excessive. We'll go with double running back, and we'll take Derrick Henry. I do have Derrick Henry ranked above Ashton Genty, and I feel like I don't really take him that much on the live stream. So I'm not afraid to take Henry. But let's mix him in here. We've got a decent amount of Genty. I'm like officially above like 10% on Genty, so I can cool it a little bit. I think I'm a little bit underweight now on Henry. So we will go Achane and Henry and have what looks like so far poised to be the best running back core in this 12-team pod. Hopefully we have an advantage at running back. But typically I kind of prefer to go a little bit more balanced because the receiver values at rounds 3 and 4, not quite the same, but I do want my teams to be different. I don't want the same start all of the time. So Achane and Derrick Henry, some youth, some age, and both of them ranked inside my top 6. I almost went Bucky Irving, though, just to be different. However, it has come to my attention that Tristan Wirfs has gotten injured, going to miss some time. That is kind of a big deal. Might need to adjust my ranking on Bucky Irving. Perhaps Genty should still be ranked above him. Right now I have Bucky at 7, Genty at 8, and I did make that video before I was aware of the Tristan Wirfs injury. I think it happened around the same 2 or 3 day time period, and was not aware of that when I made that video. But definitely changes some outcomes for Bucky Irving. It's relevant. I don't know if it's a reason to panic. I'm still comfortable drafting Bucky, especially at the late second round. I thought he was a steal in the first place, so now maybe he's just more appropriately ranked. But I'm not going to be afraid to draft Bucky. He was elite last season on limited touches in a pretty almost evenly split backfield with Rashad White. He never really eclipsed like 60% of the snaps, even when he took the RB1 job. I would expect that to go up. I'd expect him to get closer to 70%. Maybe 65, 67. So that's the only hesitation now with Bucky, is Tristan Wirfs a big deal, but with more usage, his numbers should be fine. Anyways, most of the running back picks are kind of consolidated. So far, we have 4 teams. I'm one of them with 2 RBs for the first 3 rounds. That's something to monitor. Running back might get pushed up a little bit. But Metcalf goes pick 35. That's interesting. I think I'll just take Mike Evans and move on. Not going to grab Breece Hall or Kyren Williams. Not with Achane and Henry. I think I need receiver for sure right now. Only question is, what do I do with this next pick? Kind of tempted to go Jaden Daniels. I have that elite running back, but don't think I'm going to do it. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Jaden Daniels. Let's just grab the elite QB. Let's do that. And then at the next turn, I'll probably double tap receiver. Jamie started Puka in London. That's a very good start. That's the same thing that Team 9 did in this draft. Get that Week 17 matchup. Rams versus Falcons. That should be good. In the Dome, Monday night, I believe. Dev says he never picks Bucky. He's so overpriced. I disagree, but you are entitled to your opinion. Kittle now going at the top of round 4. He's been moving up the board quickly. And I think with the news today of Juwan Jennings requesting a new contract, that probably gets resolved. I imagine at the worst, they're going to give him some incentives on his final year of the contract. I believe it's the final year. Let's double check. Juwan Jennings was almost looking like the Super Bowl MVP 2 years ago, and then last year had a official breakout. But yeah, he will be a free agent at the end of this season. And this year he's making, in terms of cap hit, like 8.2, but his average salary is about just shy of 6 million per year. I can understand why he would like that to increase. He's 28 years old. How many cracks at the payday will he get? But not convinced he's going to get a long-term deal. I think he'll just get some like incentives written into his contract, but that could lead to him missing some practice time. We know that Ricky Pearsall has dealt with injury. We know Brandon Ayuk is going to miss some games. I think that just really, really solidifies George Kittle as a very safe, very effective pick. Definitely worth an early fourth rounder, in my opinion. I think you can rank him above Trey McBride. Probably not above Bowers, though. But guaranteed top 3 in my view. And with Juwan having some concerns, I think Kill's just an even safer pick now. Ooh, Zay Flowers falls all the way this far. Let's definitely take Zay Flowers. To pair up with Derrick Henry. Kind of wish I had Lamar. Surprised the team with Lamar passed. But we'll take Zay Flowers, and then we're going to see how far Juwan Jennings falls. I'm not going to be the one to take him here. I will pass. And we took Mike Evans. I don't think I'm going to take Godwin. I think I'm going to take Jordan Addison instead. In terms of upside, Addison had a similar year to Jamison Williams last season, and there is a slight concern he gets suspended, but it's not a guarantee. And maybe J.J. McCarthy is not quite the same player, but in 2 years, Addison has thrived in the Kevin O'Connell system. Touchdowns are usually a safe bet and pretty much locked into his production. I think at worst, he's like a top 30 30 wide receiver, and he is being drafted well outside that. So, like I mentioned at the top, all the money in this tournament is basically in week 17. If he is suspended, it'll be at the beginning of the year. I'm not worried about him missing time in the fantasy playoffs, and I need some wide receiver production. I think he's the most high upside pick other than Chris Godwin in this range, but don't know how much time Godwin will miss. And given I have Evans already, that kind of like boxes me into wanting to draft Baker Mayfield. And it's kind of unlikely Baker falls all the way down to 108 in the 9th round, which means I'd probably have to take him at 85. And that feels misguided based on how this team started out. We already have Jaden Daniels. We already have an elite quarterback. And to invest a 8th round pick, basically a 7th rounder at the 7-8 turn for QB2, does not feel like the strategy I want to employ. So just to prevent myself from feeling forced and compelled to draft Baker Mayfield, I am passing on Chris Godwin, who falls to pick 69 and is not a guarantee to be active. Even by like week 6 or 7, like probably week 10 he's on the field. That feels like a lock, but could be 2 months before he actually gets some snaps. Destiny says, I'll take OBJ for wide receiver. I mean, good luck. Is OBJ even on a team this year? I don't think so. Odell, still a free agent. So be my guest, man. I'd love to be in a lobby with you. Taking Odell Beckham. Take him like 5th round. Maybe as a flyer in round 18, but I'd rather bet on Amari Cooper at that price or Keenan Allen. I think those players are a little more likely to actually be on the field. Judkins falling as expected. What do y'all think? Are we panicking on Judkins at this point? Maybe. I think I'm going to go Josh Downs for sure. Decent floor with Downs, and that's kind of what I need. Kind of tempted to go Igbuka, but with that Juwan Jennings scare, I'm going to grab Brandon Ayuk, one of my most drafted players. Again, might miss some time early in the season, but we need him at the end of the year for the fantasy playoffs. And he does have the potential to operate as the wide receiver 1 in that offense once healthy. So give me Brandon Ayuk here. If Juwan Jennings does miss any time, does have kind of a letdown season like Ayuk did last year, then that would mean Ricky Pearsall's a very good pick. He goes a little bit higher in this draft at pick 67. I understand that a lot. There's really no guarantee that Juwan is really the top option in San Francisco at receiver. The only thing that's guaranteed is that Kittle's a fucking menace and gonna crush, barring injury. But Pearsall should be really good as well. And then once Ayuk steps back on the field, I think it's kind of a free-for-all. 1 week, you'll get one player popping off. The next week, it'll be game plan specific. It'll pivot to another guy. And that's kind of what Shanahan likes to do. We've seen that trend in the past many times. 1 week, it's Ayuk versus Arizona going off. The next week, Debo against the Seahawks fucking pops off in primetime, and the other player is just not as relevant when the other guy is producing at a high rate. So it's a good thing I didn't box myself into Igbuka, hoping that Baker would fall. He goes to that Chris Godwin team in the 4 slot at pick 93. And that's usually what happens. The team that gets a value on Godwin or Igbuka around the turn on this side ends up grabbing Baker between pick like 90 and 100. I have seen him fall to like 106, 107. It's really, really unlikely he ever falls to that 9-10 turn at 108. So I've learned from some mistakes of assuming he'll be available later, not to bet on it. Destiny says Odell gambles too much these days. He wouldn't be on the field. Yeah, it feels like a way too risky endeavor for my liking. Dev says going to wait to see how far he falls. I assume you're talking about Juwan? If not, you might be talking about Judkins, who in this draft falls all the way to pick 100. Judkins goes round 9 after Jalen Warren, Tyrone Tracy. I might be dead wrong on Tyrone Tracy, but there's no effing chance I'm taking Tyrone Tracy above Quinshon Judkins. I mean, he might get suspended. I don't know all the details of what's going on with him in that situation. Anyways, I'm on the clock. We get a really good price on Bo Nix here. Should probably take him. I wish I had a chance at Evan Ingram, though. I do not. Ingram was already taken. So we just let the clock time out on Bo Nix. And then I can't really afford a third quarterback, so I think I'll go Charbonnet. In my view, the highest upside running back. Handcuff. And with A-Chain and Derrick Henry at the top, I'm not relying on him critically on a weekly basis. So quarterback is all set. Damn it, we got 2 week 12 buys. Should have just taken Purdy to pair with Ayuk. God damn. I always forget to pay attention to the bye weeks. And it's really only relevant at quarterback. Like, even at tight end, I don't give a fuck. But at quarterback, it's definitely something to consider. So that's unfortunate. You think you're getting a good price, a good pick on Bo Nix, and the next thing you know, it's going to lead to a bagel in week 12. But we could still swallow it. Not the end of the world. Just unfortunate. Might grab a third QB just for the sake of balancing that out. It is what it is. And then Charbonnet. In general, I usually fade Kenneth Walker and opt for Charbonnet instead. Walker often gets injured, often misses time. Purdy falls to 116. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting lobby. I've been in like I said, 6 of these schnauzers already, and I swear, in like almost all of them, quarterbacks have been pushed up heavily. I've seen Dak go at pick 91. I saw Goff go at pick 102. I've seen a lot of early reaches on QB in these Schnauzer tournaments so far. But in this one, it's the opposite. Other than, I guess, Burrow at 48, which he either goes right at the turn or then he's like somewhere gambling that he comes back around. So that's kind of typical. That's not crazy. But Fields at 110. We get Bo Nix at 108. Caleb Williams at 103. And then the rest here, other than Brock Purdy, is kind of typical. But kind of regretting that Jaden Daniels selection just a little bit, because like we didn't have Terry. We would have had to reach on Debo. Debo doesn't wrap around all the way back to the turn. I think I'm gonna have to take Marvin Mims. I mean, maybe not have to, but kind of feel compelled to do it when I have Bo Nix. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab a tight end in Dallas Goedert, because I don't have a tight end yet. Need someone, and then we'll mull it over. I still don't like this price on Marvin Mims. I really don't. I'd much rather just take Ray Davis. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to ignore Marvin Mims. Grab our 4th running back. Another high upside handcuff. But with Ray Davis as the 4th guy, I can feel comfortable with just 5. And I'm definitely needing 3 tight ends. I might need a 3rd quarterback. So let's ignore Marvin Mims. Who knows? Maybe Mims falls all the way back around. Unlikely, but possible. Anyways, if you've been watching for the majority of this live stream since at least like round 2 or 3, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. And support the channel in those free ways to do so. Subscribe if you are enjoying this content. If you've enjoyed the video so far, hit that like button for me. Looks like we only have 1 like at the moment. Come on, y'all. Oh, it looks like the ads are running right now, but do me a favor, hit that like button. Okay, so we're going to need some tight ends. Going to need a couple more receivers. And then 1 more running back. Might go Jalen Wright at the turn, have a handcuff to A-Chain. And that way, if we don't get much from Charbonnet or Ray Davis, we're not dead if somehow A-Chain goes down. But I might have gambled correctly. We are 7 picks away, currently 149 on the board. Marvin Mims still on the board. So other than the team that took Evan Ingram, this is a lobby that was fading Denver Broncos a little bit. Mims goes at 149 right when I jinx it. It happens. Sutton did go at 51. But 150 seems a little more appropriate on Marvin Mims. But it's not the end of the world. There's still some options for us that do correlate. If I felt super desperate, I could still go like Devon Bailey in round 18, but barring a snipe, I will take Pat Bryant here. And then, because I have no one to pair up with Jaden Daniels, I will grab a pass catcher. I need one more running back. Give me Pat Bryant for Bo Nix, and then I'll take Austin Eckler, a relevant pass catcher in Washington. Might be bad this year. If he is, it's because of injury. But barring him going down, I think he'll be relevant on a week-to-week basis. And that kind of covers my ass just a little bit in terms of floor plays if Charbonnet never really scratches the surface. If somehow Walker stays healthy for once. We got Ray Davis, we got Eckler. The running back core, really good on this team. A-Chain, Derrick Henry, Sharbs, Ray Davis, and Eckler. And then quarterback would be fantastic if not for the Week 12 bye on both of them. We have Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. And then receiving core could be better, but I don't think it's brutal. We have Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Josh Downs, Brandon Ayuk, and Pat Bryant. And then at tight end, I have Dallas Goedert. Tight end is not looking too hot. But Goddard, if not for injury, is actually like a pretty decent tight end. Does have access to a high ceiling. Often finishes in the top 10, top 12 on a week-to-week basis, but without a touchdown, just like any other tight end, you're not usually scratching like 7 points. 7-8 points is kind of the ceiling without a TD. So if I would have changed something about this draft, maybe I would have gone more balanced to begin. Maybe that Derrick Henry, Devon Achane combo, not my favorite. Like maybe if I was in the middle of the draft board, going double running back might have been a little less punitive. But when you have to wait the entire 2 rounds for your next pick, Mike Evans doesn't feel that safe this year. Looking into his numbers, when Chris Godwin was healthy, he was only averaging about like 11 and a half points per game, which is fine. But you can also average that with someone like Josh Downs. Like Josh Downs was averaging like 10.3 last season. And if not for the games where Godwin was hurt, Mike Evans would not have looked like such a stud. So he's not my favorite pick. Feels like a tier break when you get to Mike Evans. Anyways, I think I'm limited to tight end, wide receiver. And then are there any quarterbacks that are relevant? Not really. Daniel Jones is the only guy. Ugh, fuck. I think I'll go Mason Taylor. Going to be on the field a lot. Need another tight end for sure. And then I guess I can go Alec Pierce. Feels gross. Let me check something. Okay, so in week 12, we're limited to a Colts quarterback. They're at Kansas City. That's not going to be a good game for them in the first place. The team's on bye: Denver, Miami, LA, and Washington. The Saints are hosting the Falcons. That might not be too bad for Tyler Shuck. And then the only other quarterback team we might be able to get in on is the Giants at Detroit. That could be a bit of a, maybe not shootout, but like garbage time game. Perhaps week 12 Jackson Dart is a potential selection. And then there's Cleveland at Las Vegas. Pittsburgh at Chicago. I think Rodgers is already off the board, though. So I could consider Jackson Dart if I'm really desperate in round 18. I could also tolerate a Tyler Shuck selection just for the sake of it. I don't think Atlanta's defense is that good. I know they drafted a lot of pass rushers and mainly focused on defense in this draft, but I don't know. I don't really buy into them having a stout lockdown defense all of a sudden. Because I don't really give a shit about the stack. Like, I don't think I need Shaheed on this team to take Tyler Shuck. It's really just, am I worried that at quarterback I'm screwed, that week 12 is a bagel that burns me? I think I'm just going to risk it without it. I don't think it's that important. It's not fun to get a bagel in week 12, but I don't think it moves the needle like crazy. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 receivers. I think I need an eighth on this team. I think when we start Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Downs, and Ayuk, I think having an eighth is not bad. So let's look at the Commanders. I'm going to take a swing on Jalen Lane, I think, and then grab Ben Sennett as well. Because tight ends at this point, I guess I could go Juwan Johnson and Tyler Shuck if I really wanted to. But I can't say I'm dying to do that. Gonna grab Ben Sennett for sure. Let's pray that Ertz goes down. Kind of feels inevitable. Probably happens this year. And then, yeah, fuck it. Let's go Jalen Lane. Have no clue what his role will be. It's possible he is completely irrelevant, but he's not like horrendous as a prospect. Drafted in the 4th round, pretty fast, runs a 4.34. His best comp on Player Profiler is Kadarius Toney. That's not good news. He's only 5'10", 191. It's not like amazing, but we've seen thinner, smaller receivers have success in the past as well. Comes out of Virginia Tech, played for Middle Tennessee his first 2 seasons, and not like crazy good numbers, but also factors in on special teams. That might give him a shot to be on the field, and who knows, maybe make some magic happen. Maybe figure something out with Jaden Daniels. So here's the team: Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Devon Achane, Derrick Henry, Zach Charbonnet, Ray Davis, Austin Eckler at running back. Wide receiver, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Josh Downs. Ayuk, Pat Bryant, Alec Pierce, Jalen Lane. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, Mason Taylor, Ben Sennett. Not the biggest fan of this team. I think rounds 2 and 4 with Henry and Daniels kind of put me in a rough spot, and then I got, other than Zay Flowers, I didn't really get any good values with any falling players. So let's do one more. Let's move on. And if you guys want to join me on this one, go ahead and get that screen ready. We will be drafting in another one. You know what? Let's just do it right now. Hit the button as I say this, and I will join in 3, 2, 1. And hopefully it is synced up better. I'm the first. Oh, no, I'm the. There was only one spot left. There was only one spot left this time. So once again, kind of rough timing. If you wanted in. These things are filling almost instantly. It feels like. Very little wait time. But we get pick 1. We have the other bookend. Now we get pick 1. Should be a much better team this time around. But Dev says he has no Mike Evans either. Cobra, just run the Wildcat with Henry in week 12. Oh, yeah. We're perfect. That's the answer. We have Derrick Henry running Wildcat at QB week 12. Dev says Atlanta's defense got major upgrade. They're going to be good. I'm not convinced they're like fantastic, but they should be a little better. Dev says I get Isaac Tesla as my go-to late round guy. I've taken him a few times. Not my go-to option, but especially if I have Goff and I'm looking for some stacking appeal, I will consider Isaac Tesla. My reason why I'm not dying to do it, though, is because Tim Patrick's still with the team. I think so is Khalif Raymond. Pretty sure. Let me check on Khalif. Just one F. Yeah, Khalif Raymond also still with the team. And because they kind of eat into each other, you don't really get usable weeks out of them unless somebody goes down. Like last year, Tim Patrick only had some usable weeks that correlated with Khalif getting injured. So, took him a while. Had one game with 2 touchdowns, a touchdown after that. But those are the only 3 touchdowns he had on the season. And then he maxed out at 68 yards on 3 catches. Had a 55-yard for 4 reception game. I'm worried it's like a big rotation in terms of the wide receiver 3 there. But fair and valid point here. They used 3 third-round picks to trade up for Tesla. They like him. Let's take a look. Runs a 4.43, played at Arkansas, 6'4", 214 pounds. Weight adjusted speed score is tremendously high. Good measurables. Drafted in the 3rd round, early 3rd round. His college stats are not here on Player Profiler. Isaac Tesla. I heard it's pronounced Tesla. But let's look at some game logs while we wait. Had one game with 5 for 120 and a touchdown. Another game with 2 touchdowns last year. Those is only 2 catches. Otherwise, not a single other touchdown. Did miss some games, it looks like. 0 receptions in weeks 3, 4, and 6. Decent numbers. I don't know if they like pop off the page, but yeah, if they trade up to get him, I understand the logic why they would like him. Like I said, I do mix him in occasionally. I'm just kind of not really sold that offense offers enough value for the wide receiver 3. In his rookie season, I'm not expecting the world from Isaac Tesla. But I could definitely be wrong. I'm not going to pretend like he's a bad pick, just not someone I'm heavily targeting because I kind of worry about his path for usage sometimes. Bucky Irving, I think, will be my pick. Very comfortable with Bucky at this spot. Like him a lot. And then we could go Chase Brown. Which team took T. Higgins? The team at 4? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go Chase Brown. And that way we have a shot for Joe Burrow, but not in a way where I'm completely screwed if I don't get him. Devs is 11th highest RAS in receiver history. Oh, it's RAS. That's fair. This is pretty high. Okay. Fair point, Dev. T-Slaw. Interesting. T-Slaw. But I kind of, yeah, view him a little bit better in Dynasty. That's just my take on it. Year one, I'm not going to expect the world in that kind of narrow offense. I still think they're a run-first team. I still think JMO and Amon-Ra are the main targets. And then Laporta also kind of dominates some touches too. But he could pop. I'm not going to pretend like he can't. Just don't take him like crazy. I kind of look for paths to emerge a little bit more than other things. Like, that's one reason why I really like Torrey Horton. Because I really think if Cooper Kupp goes down, he could be the wide receiver 2. With like 8 targets a week. But I should probably mix him in more now that you mention it. So I go Ja'Marr Chase, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. With Ja'Marr Chase, don't mind passing on some of these round 3 receivers. My preference would have been Devontae Adams had he been the pick at receiver. Had I gone for a receiver instead of Chase Brown, I would have gone Devontae Adams. But JSN and Terry fall to the turn. Good for that team at 12. Good value on both of them. Allen, Lamar, and Jaden Daniels all go in the 3rd round. Meanwhile, Trey McBride falls to 31. Bowers goes at 22. Chuba Hubbard already off the board at pick 40. That's interesting. The team with A.J. Brown grabs Jalen Hurts. So quarterback is going a little bit high so far. Oh, and Breece Hall went pick 28. Very interesting. Meanwhile, James Cook and Hampton still on the board. Hampton now off. Tedero McMillan has fallen. If he falls 2 more spots, I'll take him. But there he goes at pick 46. We do not get lucky. Worthy off the board. I think I'm going to grab Waddle and JMO. Give me some later stacking options at quarterback. Gonna pass on Burrow. Gonna take a shot that he wraps back around to me at 72. Might miss out to that team with CeeDee Lamb and T. Higgins, but it's worth a gamble. I think the teams that get Burrow at the 6-7 turn are going to be a lot more likely to advance and win it all than the teams that take Burrow at the 4-5 turn. Dev says Torrey Horton is probably going to get ramped up slow. He's still recovering from that knee injury. Last I checked, in minicamp back in June, he was operating at full go. He was already healthy. Last time they had training camp in Seattle. So with another month, I think he's gonna be ready week 1. I might be a little over optimistic, but I'm not really betting on him week 1. I'm betting on him at the end of the season, when I think Cooper Kupp will be much less relevant. I do not trust Cooper Kupp to stay healthy. I also like that Sam Darnold was like a deep threat passer last year. And as long as he can beat out MVS, I could see some a lot of deep shots for Torrey Horton, but I might be overly optimistic. Not going to pretend like I know for a fact Horton's going to smash. It's just that's who I've been looking at a lot for the sake of being unique as well. I feel like if I can get a Tory Horton team to advance and he does pop, I'll be one of the very few people that does. That has him. So far this team has Ja'Marr Chase, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, Jameson Williams, Jalen Waddle. So receiving core, pretty solid. Running back room, very good in my opinion. 2 top 10 guys. And now we've entered round 6. No one is yet to take Joe Burrow. I got him. He needs to pass that team at 4. If he gets past 69, I think I'll get him. But obviously that is a gamble. Nothing is guaranteed, but worth a shot. But, oh, this is interesting. We see Caleb Johnson go pick 62 right after TreVeyon Henderson. Now Isaiah Pacheco at 65. Am I missing something at running back right now? Yeah, running backs have gone off quickly here. But one more pick, and then it's the moment of truth on Burrow. All right, does this team either takes him right away or doesn't take him? The fact the clock is ticking is a good sign for me. Come on, grab someone else. Let's go. They go Jakobi Meyers. Watch one of these two teams snipe me, though. Swift. Oh, let's go, baby. Joe Burrow, pick 72. Worth the gamble here. Love to see it. I'm taking Burrow and Ricky Pearsall. Fuck yeah. Very happy with that. Burrow stacked up with Ja'Marr Chase and Chase Brown, Bucky Irving, Jameson Williams, Jalen Waddle, and Ricky Pearsall. Beautiful. Thank you, Team 4. JJRN4L. Maybe that's just pronounced journal, but thank you very much, Team 4, for grabbing Jakobi Meyers. Love to see it. Beautiful. All right. Feeling good on a Wednesday. It's Monday. But you've seen that South Park episode, right? Where Randy reveals himself to be Lord. And he just rambles in the bathroom at work and into his recorder and then just brings it into like auto tune and adds like super basic ass shit. Yeah. Feeling good, feeling good. What I need now is a little bit of shelter. Anyways, that's not what you guys tuned in for. Not for me to sing on the live stream. I'm just happy. We got Joe Burrow at 72. Bo Nix at 76. Wow. What an odd decision from Team 4 to go Jakobi Meyers at 69, passing on Burrow, then reaching on Bo Nix by 2 full rounds, unstacked. Very, very curious decision. Not going to complain. But Juwan falls to pick 67 in this draft, still ahead of Pearsall. I imagine the first day we get this news, there's still a lot of people that maybe aren't fully aware of it. And then it's also still mid-July. There's another 6-7 weeks for that thing to get resolved. It probably needs to dip into like the second week of training camp for people to start like panicking. Like if he misses, into like the second week of August, then maybe Juwan is going closer to Ayuk. But the team with Juwan also grabs Ayuk at 91. Judkins still on the board. That pick could be a death nail, though. We saw him go at 100 overall in the last one. Okay, it goes at 94. I'm not going to be forced to take him, but was definitely considering him. Definitely thought about it. Baker goes. I think I'm going to grab Jaylen Warren for another running back. And then in general, I'm just fading Cooper Kupp. I'm going to go Jaden Higgins. I would expect Jaden Higgins to stay healthier than Cooper Kupp. I'll grab Jaden Higgins. Opens me up for CJ Stroud. I can also still go Goff with Jameson Williams. I can also take Waddle, his quarterback Tua. But there's no way Brock Purdy circles back around to stack with Pearsall. That'd be pretty shocking. All right, so that team with Bo Nix does take Evan Ingram. At least there's that. Bryce asking, am I doing one more? This is my second. I will be doing one more, though. I think we're going to do a puppy instead. I don't think I'll be doing another Schnauzer for the third. But asking, who do you think has a higher ceiling, Lamar or Allen this upcoming season? I mean, the ceiling is equally as high for both. I think the defense is going to be remarkable for the Ravens this year. So I'm not totally convinced that Lamar is forced into passing the ball as much as he did last season. If you recall, like they started off kind of slow, the Ravens did, and they were in catch-up mode a lot after that. I think they're going to start off very strong, and their defense is going to carry them a little bit more. I think Allen is probably more likely to be QB1, but it's really splitting hairs. I don't see really any difference between either of them. If you want to go with Lamar over Josh Allen, go ahead. I just think Lamar has a better defense this season, so might lead to just a little bit less urgency in the fourth quarter. I will rank Allen at number 1. Same tier, though. Indistinguishable tier break between 1 and 2. Non-existent tier break, I should say. So tight end is now starting to come off the board quickly. We see Tyler Warren at 109. David Njoku 112, Tucker Kraft 113. They're off in round 11 picks. So going a full round early. Interesting to note. I do not have a tight end yet, so don't want to get boxed out. However, I don't want to reach unnecessarily either. So the plan is Jared Goff. This team already has 2 quarterbacks, so I don't expect to be sniped. I think they're going to go Camp Scattaboo. No, they go JJ McCarthy. All right. Full round discount on Scattaboo. Let's do it. Let's go Goff for the JMO combination, and then Scattaboo, who I think is more likely to be the running back 1 in the Giants offense. It's not really like the most valuable backfield to own in the first place. There were some usable weeks for Tyrone Tracy last year, but he maxed out at 5 touchdowns, and it is going to be a touch split for the majority of the season. But I think if one player will emerge as the guy, it will be Scattaboo. So I have him ranked above Tracy already. And then I also got Scattaboo 2.5 rounds almost later than where Tracy goes. Like, if this is the new price on Scattaboo and the new price on Tyrone Tracy, 93 on Tyrone, 121 on Scattaboo. I mean, I'm already not drafting Tyrone Tracy. I'm never going to do that. I will definitely be in the Scattaboo camp a lot more. But usually Scattaboo goes around the 9-10 turn. We get him at the 10-11 turn. So a shot at an RB1. Very talented back in college. Not the fastest player, but very tough. Can break some tackles. And also a very good pass catcher as well. Had like 60 receptions last year. Also, this might be an Isaac Tesla team now that we have Goff. Yeah, very, very slow 40-yard dash at 4.71. That's pretty brutal. Interesting that his burst score is very high. Burst is also very relevant because sometimes you never really get the chance to be running 40 yards in the first place. A lot of the difference makers need to succeed early on the play. So if he can be very quick out the gate behind the line of scrimmage, then maybe he can get some separation. But he may get tackled if he does crack open like a 20-yard plus run. Might not take it to the house. But, I was mistaken. 605 yards. That's where I got the 60 number for. 45 catches, though, is phenomenal. 45 receptions. And then a total of like 2,300 yards. 1,715 rushing. 600 passing. 600 receiving. Forgive me. Scattaboo is a dog. Like, if you watched just that Texas game alone, such an impressive game from him. What were his final numbers on that? That game was insane in the college football playoff. 30 rush attempts for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, another 8 receptions for 99 yards. So the man had a 242-yard game with 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. Also threw a 42-yard passing touchdown. Also had a pass attempt that turned into a 40-yard house call. Phenomenal outing from Camp Scattaboo as a close to his college career. Ooh, Stroud almost wraps back around. Would have been kind of tempting to grab Stroud, but happy I'm not boxed into it. I will grab Likely, one of my favorite tight end picks. Let's do that. And then I don't think I'm going to take Ferguson. We've ignored receiver for a while, but it's starting to dry up. Let's go Cedric Tillman. We don't take Tillman like crazy, but there is a world where Tillman does crush, and I don't want to completely ignore him. I'll grab Cedric Tillman as my wide receiver 6. That feels fine. Right at ADP. Goes 144. I take him 145. There was a 4-game stretch where Tillman was a week winner. And he was on my fantasy team last year. I was starting him in some of those matchups. He had 3 amazing games. And then he had a concussion and was never seen again. But those games weren't like completely random when he was good. It happened like right after they traded away Amari Cooper. Once Amari Cooper was gone, he had 4 games and 3 of them were fucking fantastic. Then he got hurt. So there is a world where he remains very relevant in that offense. Maybe Judy is not that valuable. And yes, I did have that in mind when I made that click. Jamie definitely going to be happy with that selection. But Reflect the Sun says, look out for the Giants. That defense should be flipping the ball back to the offense more often too. Their defensive line is going to be a nightmare. They've got some amazing options. They got Kayvon Thibodeau. They got Brian Burns. And then they drafted Abdul Carter. That's a tough line to go up against. I don't know if it's like Eagles level scary, but hard to find a better trio when you really think about the depth charts across the league. Yes, that is another caveat with Tillman, though. Some those games were with Jameis Winston, and if you look at all of the Browns' production last year in terms of pass catchers, the numbers crater when Winston is off the field. I mean, we all know that Deshaun Watson was just ass at QB last year, but whether it was Deshaun Watson or I'm forgetting who filled in after Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And then I think they also had a game with like PJ Walker, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, whether it was Deshaun Watson, DTR, or I think PJ Walker, if it was not Jameis Winston, all of the numbers cratered on the Browns offense. So Jameis reliant as well. Dexter Lawrence. He's still in the Giants? He is. For a few more years. Yeah, we just checked. Indeed. Too bad their offense is just nothing to trust. So when we drafted Waddle, we were going to consider Tua, but with Goff and Burrow, I'm not interested in that. I will go Mike Gesicki for sure. I need some tight end production. I only have Isaiah Likely. Absolutely going to need another one. Give me Mike Gesicki for the combo. And then I do think the best pick at receiver at this point, a little bit past ADP, is Pat Bryant. There is some very good camp reports for Pat Bryant. Sean Payton appears to really like him, so I'm not going to fade him. We'll take Pat Bryant as the 6th guy. But I know who I'm going to grab as the... Ooh. Kind of wish I didn't take one of those 2 receivers, whether it was Tillman or Pat Bryant. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already. and we're planning for Isaac Tesla, T-Slaw, however the fuck it's supposed to be pronounced. We got 3 more picks. I probably should have grabbed a tight end there. There's a bit of a fall off at tight end. Maybe I should have taken Jake Ferguson instead of Cedric Tillman in hindsight. Kind of a safer floor play. Because with Likely and Gesicki, I might be getting a lot of 4-point games out of those two. They also have the ceiling to go well over 15. Isaiah Likely can put up like a 30-point game every now and then, but they might be very rarely in my lineup. I probably should have taken the floor option of Jake Ferguson. Hindsight is 2020, though. Yeah, I would like my team a lot better if I had Ferguson instead of Tillman. It's not a huge difference, but would have felt safer. Because I want to take Isaac Tesla for sure. However, I often take Jermaine Burton, even without Joe Burrow. Jermaine Burton, one of my other favorite picks in round 18 at receiver. And definitely warranted with a Joe Burrow team. So, a little short-sighted, but we still have 3 picks. We need one more running back for sure. I feel solid about the 4 that I have. I have Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Cam Skattebo. Decent floors with Warren and Skattebo, high upside with Bucky and Chase Brown. So that 5th can be a true flyer. Not relying on that 5th running back very much. And then at receiver, it's good enough where I really don't need a 9th guy. I need a 3rd tight end for sure. So 1 more running back, 1 more tight end, 1 more receiver. That is the way. But Bryce asking, after the mini Schnauzer is filled, do you think they will come out with another $3 or $1 draft again? I'm sure. These low buy-in tournaments fill so quickly. There's no way they're not going to do another $3 entry. I hope they do another $1 because I actually missed that. I was not paying attention the day that it launched, and it was closed by the time I found out about it. That was a bummer. But I'm not totally sure about the $1. They are for sure going to drop another $3 by, I would say, the end of July, and then they're probably going to be another 2, at least in August. I think I'll go Mason Taylor. And then the running back, I don't really care too much about it. So I'm just going to get ahead of it and grab Tesla now. And that way we prevent a snipe. Just in case somebody really likes him and gets ahead of us. We will listen to Dev. Dev does know some stuff. Cobra says Skattebo 45-88 in underdog scoring in his last college game. Damn. 46 points. That'd be awesome in the fantasy playoffs. Imagine if he puts up a game like that against the Raiders in week 17. That'd be fucking dope. Yeah, we got Burrow at 72. That was a very nice acquisition. That team at 4, I think, just fucked up. I don't know what the team at 4 was thinking. They took Jacoby Myers at 69, and then they took Bo Nix 2 rounds above ADP instead of just taking Burrow when they had T. Higgins. Very strange. And Bo Nix, up until that point, was unstacked. Team 4 gave me a gift. But I'm very unlikely to draft Burrow in general. Like, even when I set up the stack, I almost never grab him at the 4 or 5 turn. I'm not one to reach on him. So I'm actually very underweight Burrow because I think he's kind of overpriced. If you don't have the stack set up to warrant it, I'm not gonna be one of the guys that takes him at like 65 just because I'm like, oh wow, what a value in the middle of the 6th round, and I don't have a Bengal on my roster. I feel like that's very unnecessary because he had a pretty similar year to Baker Mayfield last year, and Baker goes like 3 rounds later sometimes. But I would love to grab Jermaine Burton on this team. I don't think I can afford it. Got to roll with Jamar Chase, Mike Gesicki, and Chase Brown, and just trust that that will get it done. And at running back here, I think I'm planning for Brashard Smith. If I get stuck with Jarquez, that's not the end of the world. I'm fine with that. Otherwise, I'd consider Jordan James as a flyer. I'm also starting to believe that Devin Neal and Kendre Miller are not going to be the handcuffed Kamara this year. I think it's going to be Cam Akers. Brashard Smith goes, and Jarquez also off the board. So, you know what? Let's go Cam Akers. I'm really not counting on that 5th running back very much at all, in my opinion. So, uh, that'll be the first time I've ever taken Cam Akers on Underdog, but I'm not really convinced that Devin Neal or Kendre Miller are going to be the handcuff to own. I think it's going to be Cam Akers. Anyways, like I said, this last one will be a puppy. We're not going to do a 3rd mini Schnauzer on this one. We will do a puppy 2, and hopefully we can time it where if you do want to draft with me, it will sync up. I've been either the last or the second to last person in each of the lobbies before. So hope you're ready. If you are, go ahead and hop into the puppy right now. Go ahead and grab your spot. I'm on a minor delay. It should sync up. 5 spots left. 5 spots available if you would like it. This will be the last one for sure. Not going to draft a 4th. Reflect the Sun says, fair. Would you take him if you got Chase, Higgins, Brown, then take him at 48? In that scenario, I think you're kind of forced to do it, but I'm the type of guy where it's like, well, I'm already gambling that Burrow can come back to me on a team where I don't have all 3. Like on the team I just drafted right now, I only had Chase and Brown. If I have all 3, then I'm more likely to think to myself, it's less the chances that somebody takes Burrow unstacked are even lower now, and it feels even more warranted to wait. But I guess you kind of advertise that you want Burrow, and somebody might just take him to spite you. There are those types of snipe picks that happen where it's like, oh, that guy's clearly set up for a Joe Burrow team. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, there are some times when I take it, but I remember I drafted like a single entry earlier on the live stream, maybe like a month ago, where I did take Burrow at the 4-5 turn, And I remember kind of regretting it. I don't think I've done it once since that happened. So yeah, in general, I'm not taking Burrow at uh, at pick 48 or 49, even with all three. But you're saying Neighbors, Scatterboo, Theo Johnson. Giants have some weapons. Russ and or Dart should be an upgrade in my opinion. Problem is we don't know which quarterback it'll be. Late season, I expect it to be Dart, so that's the only one I'm like willing to take on a random occasion. But those are the only three I kind of trust. Occasionally, I'll take Darius Slayton though. I don't take Wandale that much, but we're not going to get a full slate of games from either quarterback. And then I also kind of feel like Jameis Winston might get a few starts as well. Like, they also have Jameis Winston. Have no concerns about Tommy DeVito. If anything, Tommy probably gets cut. Or maybe Jameis Winston gets traded. That would be cool. But, yeah, I'm not really... I don't feel too comfortable drafting a Giants quarterback in general. There's a chance they have some value, though. Maybe Brian Dable does revive his coaching career, because I expect him to get fired at the end of the season. Feels pretty likely. I do not like pick 8. Really don't like pick 8. We'll go Puka. Pick 8 is my least favorite. I think you're at a spot where, in round 2 it's not that bad, but a lot of the time you get a lot of tier breaks, and the players that are falling get sniped. Pick 8 is probably one of the toughest spots to be in this year. I'd much rather have like pick 11 or pick 10, pick 12 than pick 8. But hopefully London can come back around. That's who I would like here. Sweet. We do get Drake London. And that's not a bad start with Puka and Drake London. Also get the Week 17 matchup, Rams versus Falcons in Atlanta. No weather to worry about. And a Sean McVay versus Raheem Morris coaching battle. Raheem Morris came from the Rams. Maybe a shootout. So our receiver room, very strong, but we will get sniped on all the running back values in round 3. Very unlikely Chase Brown or Josh Jacobs fall all the way to 32. But with receivers like this, can't complain at all. Lad at 18, Tyreek at 19. Tyreek moving up the board. Taylor Bowers at 21. Rashee Rice, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Marvin Harrison at 25. Bucky Irving at 27. Oh, Bucky was still on the board. So if somehow he falls, I'm definitely taking Jacobs. Don't expect it. So in that case, I would love to grab Adams. We could go with the elite QB. Adams off the board. Could also go Terry and grab Jaden Daniels coming back around. Okay, we're getting one of these two players. I'm not that worried about the Terry McLaurin contract situation. I expect him to sign something in time. I don't think they're going to let him go. But he does get sniped, so give me Josh Allen. I've got a bit more Lamar than Allen so far this year, because that's usually who falls to round 4. And I've started to come back around where, yeah, you should probably just take the elite QB in the 3rd if you don't like the other options. Not dying to draft the running backs in this range. JSN is fine, but not necessary when we have Puka in London. Let's just take Josh Allen. Also, to get him at 8, there is a shot that at pick 80 we get Khalil Shakir for the stack. And then, kind of unlikely these days, but at 104 it is possible we also get Keon Coleman in the 9th. But oftentimes the team grabbing Josh Allen is closer to the turn. And, at this point in time, it's almost never going to happen where you get the stacks to line up. But with Allen and a lot of shares of Hampton already, I'll go James Cook. Cook does catch some passes. He had 32 receptions last year, 44 the year prior. So there is some correlation with Josh Allen. They're on the same team. Not like an elite pass catcher, but going to have some stacking value. And the team with Terry does get Jaden Daniels. Okay, so balanced start to begin. I feel a lot better about James Cook in the 4th than I do Breece Hall in the 3rd, so happy with that. And even though I do kind of worry about James Cook and I take Ray Davis a ton, James Cook is still probably a good pick. Probably doesn't miss that much time, and even if he does, he still has like access to 35 points in a given week. He could score 3 or 4 touchdowns at any point in time. It's happened before. It'll happen again. And this is best ball. We're shooting for ceiling. Not going to ignore James Cook. But I do like to pair him with Ray Davis on occasion. If I need some depth at running back in round 12 and Ray Davis on the board, I feel very safe having both of them. I am pro handcuff most of the time. But that team at 2 does not risk it. They just take Joe Burrow. Not gambling that he comes back around. The team at 1 did gamble and didn't work out for them. Mixon off the board. Sweet. I was not going to go running back at that pick. I think there's a wide tier of running back that extends into round 6. Meanwhile, receiver, I think, has a dramatic tier break after this player. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley and shore up my 3rd receiver with some safety appeal, and also open us up for a late round Cam Ward draft pick. But I think regardless, wrapping back around, whichever running back I can take at 65 is going to have similar value to the running backs I would be grabbing at 56. Like Chuba Hubbard, probably a safer bet, but I could see Travion Henderson outperform him. and I would expect Travion to still be available at 65. Usually James Conner's also available at 65, and I have James Conner in the same tier as Chuba as well. So perhaps I get boxed out, perhaps we get sniped, but I'm expecting TreVeyon Henderson to still be on the board at pick 65. Jacoby, a little bit early, but I understand it. Jacoby's a good floor play. Jawan off the board. Let's go. I do rank TreVeyon Henderson above RJ Harvey. I think he has less competition, and I believe less in Ramondre Stevenson than I do J.K. Dobbins. Now, Dobbins has more injury risk, so there is a world where RJ Harvey has a quicker path to workhorse potential, but there is also still Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin somewhat relevant in Denver. Not hyper relevant, but still in the mix. Meanwhile, Antonio Gibson, pretty much an afterthought in New England. Real Fantasy Football says Team 2 going crazy. Team 2's not like insane. I understand why they grabbed Burrow there. Just a bit more risk averse than I would play it. And now their RB1 is Dave Montgomery. They got Jefferson, Jameson Williams, Dave Montgomery for week 17. They have T. Higgins, McBride, and Joe Burrow also for week 17. Those are two matchups, Arizona versus Cincinnati and Minnesota versus Detroit. So I understand their logic so far. But I'm the type of guy that will wait for Burrow in round 6. So I feel good about my team so far at pick 8, even though it's not my favorite selection. We're still in good shape. We have Puka, London, and Ridley at receiver. We'll grab another one probably here at pick 80. And then QB, Josh Allen, never going to feel bad about that. James Cook, TreVeyon Henderson at the running back position. That feels pretty nice. But if somehow Ricky Pearsall falls to us, we'll take him. If not, we'll go Khalil Shakir. Pearsall already off the board. So hoping for Shakir. And if not, if Caleb Johnson's still on the board, I might consider Caleb Johnson. Jaden Reed goes 77. Diggs off the board. Come on, Team 7. Let's go. Exactly what I wanted. Khalil Shakir as our wide receiver 4 with Josh Allen. That feels good. That feels good. So now I won't feel forced to reach on Keon 89 just to stack up someone in Buffalo. Yes, they do. Rel. Oh, I thought that said real first time I watched it, but Rel Fantasy Football. And then they're also doubling down on that Lions-Vikings game with Laporta. So that's clearly all they're trying to do. Just Vikings and Lions, and then Bengals and Cardinals so far. They might go Kyler Murray at the next turn. That would be my bet on Team 2. I pick 95 or 98. Oh, no, they'll do it at 95 because the team at 1 has Marvin Harrison. I think they're going to grab Kyler Murray. All right. Kind of want to take Ayuk again. Kind of. What the fuck? Shipley off the board at 88? Fucking crazy. But I'll go Aaron Jones. I still rank Aaron Jones above Jordan Mason. I'll grab Aaron Jones. I think a tier break. I mean, the comparison between Aaron Jones and Will Shipley, I mean, maybe I get like 5 more points on the season from Aaron Jones compared to Will Shipley, but at least straight up, I might have gotten a decent value on Aaron Jones. I wanted Will Shipley. Fucking sad that he went off the board right before me. That was obviously the direction I was going to go in. Yep, Team 2 does take Kyler Murray. As expected. So, ideally, Keon Coleman falls to 104. That would definitely be the pick. Will it happen? Oh, I kind of wanted TJ Hawkinson to be there at 98 for that team at 2, because they'd be kind of in a rough spot with only one running back, 2 QBs, 2 tight ends. Almost happened. And then Keon goes 99. So we do not get the double stack. But at least we have Shakir. At least we're rolling with Khalil Shakir. But maybe I should have grabbed a receiver at that last pick. Because now the tier break has officially hit us. We're looking at Trey Harris, Rashad Bateman, Luther Burden. Not ideal. Now I'm on the clock. I think I'll go Trey Harris. I don't feel good about it. But apparently Mike Williams just landed on the pup list, so that's one reason to be a little more confident. Yeah, I'll take Trey Harris. Open up the door for Herbert, but nah. I've got some good stacking options later, and we already have Josh Allen. I don't think I'm going to take Justin Herbert. I'm just going to hope that Trey Harris fills in for us nicely. Need some receiver depth as it starts to dwindle. But we have 2 elite guys in Puka and London, a safe wide receiver 3 in Ridley, and then Shakir is just kind of a floor play, but does have some weekly upside. Has some yak potential. If Team 2 grabbed Chase Brown instead of Higgins, they'd be cooking. Yeah, they do kind of need running back. But they only have 3 receivers at this point. They in both directions, I think they needed to just grab whoever the fuck they need to stop moving off the position. They kind of forced the issue too much on Burrow and Kyler. And then Laporta with McBride, I think, is excessive. Like, if I feel compelled to grab Trey Harris out of necessity, and that team only has 3 receivers, they're in rough shape. But Kelce falls to 113. Not happy to take him. Not who I'm dying to grab, but we just got sniped on Kincaid well above ADP, so we'll take Travis Kelce at pick 113. 14 spots past ADP. Usually goes 99. And I think on the live stream yesterday, we also grabbed Kelce in the 10th. But wow, this team right behind me at pick 9, they are going fucking crazy. I didn't even notice they took Dallas Goedert at pick 81. What the fuck? Then they went Will Shipley at 88. And then they grabbed Ray Davis and Dalton Kincaid, 2 players I was targeting, expecting them to be available around ADP. Yeah, team 9 just last 4 rounds went completely insane. That's weird. Wildcard B Dubs 28 doing whatever the fuck he wants. But if you'd rather grab Goddard and Kincaid well above ADP and let me grab Kelsey at 113, be my guest. Team 9 is what that LSD iguana was talking about. You know the lizard from the 2000s on YouTube, that guy that was on LSD that went on this weird like monologue and they they animated it. Kid in the background going fucking crazy. That's Team 9 there. It depends on the team, Reflect the Sun. There are some teams I'm willing to go full onslaught, and then occasionally just for like shits and giggles, I'll, you know, hammer a certain team. Um, but I don't think I need to cap myself at 2 or 3. I'd like to get at least 3 players on the same team. Ooh, very compelling to grab Drake May here, a full round past ADP. Very tempting. I also have TreVeyon Henderson. I'm going to do it. Henderson does catch passes, and even though I was setting up like some different quarterback stacks, I think the value here on Drake May is worth it. Drake May, I think, is much more valuable than having Stafford, Cam Ward, or Michael Penix. And then I could also get Kyle Williams in the next round. I have TreVeyon Henderson, so somewhat justified. Yeah, that team just continues to reach. They get another Bill and Josh Palmer. I mean, what is interesting is the Bills do play the Eagles in Week 17, and that's the matchup this team has been focused on. Philly versus Buffalo in the last 5 rounds. It's just, they're taking everyone so high. Like, what is the point? Yeah, Team 9 is fully invested in the Madden curse. Completely bought in. Very superstitious. And then just a believer in Goddard and Kincaid. But I will acknowledge, like, we could fast forward a month and James Cook's still holding out and Ray Davis is actually going even higher than pick 105. I think there's a scenario where we get into mid-August and Ray Davis just fucking flies up the board. But wow, now Herbert available. Damn. Okay, what does this team do? What the fuck is Team 9 about to grab? Complete wild card. I have no idea what direction they're going in here. Darius Slayton. What the fuck? All right, well, even though Kyle Williams pairs up with Drake May, I don't feel like it's completely necessary. Meanwhile, our running back room needs another acquisition, and I was planning to go Ray Davis here. Meanwhile, Tyjae Spears falls a full round. Let's go Tyjae Spears. I think he's a good pick regardless. Yeah, I'm going to grab Tyjae Spears, and with the way this lobby has been going, maybe Kyle Williams wraps back around one more time. I am getting some great values. I'm very happy to be sitting right next to Team 9, going completely off the board. We have gotten some phenomenal values. Like, even Aaron Jones was a good pick, but that was kind of where it kicked off. Then it was Kelsey, then Drake May, now Tyjae. Yeah, this is going well for me so far. Yeah, imagine if that's actually the combo you need. This Shipley versus Davis pairing, and Team 9 is like actually Biff from Back to the Future, He's got his almanac, just fucking like killing it. And like, there's still 6 rounds left, and he's already dipping into like round 17 ADPs. Like what if there are 6 players he's about to take that are undrafted that actually do fucking like skyrocket? Like maybe B Dubs at pick 9 is actually the Oracle from the Matrix. But so far, our Kyle Williams gamble has a shot. Only needs to fall 2 more spots. And I don't see why someone's going to take him instead. So could work out. Could be very, very lucrative for me. Very nice. One more pick and he's ours. Damn. Oh, the 1 pick snipe is sad. Fuck. Shit. What am I doing here? Yeah, we'll just take Tillman. Damn it. I was kind of just so convinced I was getting Kyle Williams, I didn't really plan what else to do. But grabbing receiver there, I think, was the move. So top of ADP is Cedric Tillman. We take Tillman. Now they go Wandale. Okay, so getting a little bit more appropriate in terms of ADP. But I think my next pick is going to be Hunter Henry for sure. I need some tight end production. All right, so here's the team so far. Quarterback, we're done with Josh Allen, Drake May. That's excellent. That feels really good. Running back feels very solid with James Cook, TreVeyon Henderson, Aaron Jones, and Tyjae Spears. Hoping Aaron Jones stays healthy, but obviously a bit of a gamble with Jordan Mason in the fold. Tyjae, though, could outperform Tony Pollard. That could very, very well happen this year. Not impossible. Pollard is 28. Wide receiver, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Calvin Ridley, Khalil Shakir, Trey Harris, and Cedric Tillman. And then tight end, we had Kelsey falling 14 picks at 113. I'm going to need another tight end. Might grab a third. But we do not have access to Josh Palmer, who usually goes here. Like, if B-Dubs wasn't going fucking crazy, then Palmer would have probably been on the board there at 152. Would have taken Palmer for sure. But nope. Don't get him. And what the fuck are they doing here? They go Theo Johnson. Wow. Fucking wild. But should have been obvious. This guy's just kind of sticking a few teams. He also does have Malik Neighbors. But other than Breece Hall, DJ Moore, Kenneth Walker, and Juwan Jennings, he strictly has Eagles, Bills, and New York Giants. Still does not have a quarterback entering round 15. Yeah, he's got all 4 Giants pass catchers. So you'd expect that he's going to go Jackson Dart at some point. But only quarterbacks remaining that have like real relevance are Cam Ward, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, and then in my opinion, Daniel Jones, not Anthony Richardson. Then I guess you could take a swing on Shuck, Russell Wilson, Dart, Shador, and Flacco. Everyone after that point needs an injury. So weird room, but I think I've benefit from it pretty tremendously. If it wasn't for that Kyle Williams snipe at 151, this team would be looking fucking awesome. But can still get Demario at 176. I could still see Demario Douglas be more valuable than Kyle Williams. I don't think anything is guaranteed for Kyle Williams. But Probably a little more exciting than Demario Douglas. Reflect the Sun says maybe I have some B-Dubs 28 and some of my new slows. Good luck. Yeah, I hope everyone gets paired with B-Dubs 28. It seems like a good omen. What if B-Dubs is the buffalo from the Buffalo Wild Wings commercial? The animated buffalo, the CGI buffalo. That's basically what it is. Uh, oh wait, we're at pick 176 and Jalen Wright's still on the board. I'd rather go Jalen Wright than Pop Douglas. Give me Jalen Wright at a big discount. Fuck yeah. Let's scoop that up while we can. I would expect this team goes Jackson Dart, but I really have no fucking clue. They go Dante Thornton. Oh wow, a pick I actually like. Still around early, but a pick I do like. Finally mixing it up with a Raider, and Raiders do play Giants week 17. But I just got another steal with Jalen Wright. People are taking Nick Chubb, Tank Bigsby over Jalen Wright. That feels not wise. This is a good team. You know, I've gotten pick 8 a couple times on the live streams and gotten like some really good steals. Like I remember once I got Jalen Hurts in the 6th round at 65 in pick 8. We got Jalen Hurts in the 6th round once, and I was like really shitting on pick 8 when we first got it. So, maybe that's just the pick you need. This is a funny draft. Demario did go off the board, unfortunately. No shot at Demario. But do I want another tight end? I'm done at quarterback. I'm done at running back. It's wide receiver, tight end, rest of the way for sure. And I don't think I'm going to go Darnold. I think I'll take Cade Otton. Yeah, give me Cade Otton. Cade Otton often doesn't really do much, but when he does have some high touchdown potential. He will be on the field in a crowded Bucks offense, but with all those like high-end pass catchers, that's just going to mean he's more open in the red zone. I could see a world where Cade Otton scores like 8 touchdowns next year. And like sneaky under the radar puts up a very, very high-end year. But Kelsey, even though we got a big discount on him, doesn't give me like the safest vibes in general. Hunter Henry, a bit of a floor play. Otton is much more of a ceiling type of swing. And if Kelsey does get hurt or just gets like faded out of the offense so that they save him for the playoff picture, wouldn't shock me if that happened again. It happened 2 years ago. Not as much last year, but I feel good having a third tight end on this roster. I don't feel like Travis Kelsey and Hunter Henry are guaranteed to get me by. But these last 2 rounds, I think we're locked into receiver. And are there any Bills left to consider? There is Elijah Moore, Ty Johnson, and Curtis Samuel. Technically, there's also Dawson Knox, but we're not going to draft him. Just going to put him in the queue just to have him there. And then New England has Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, Kendrick Bourne, and Austin Hooper available. None of them feel like good picks either. But I have 6 receivers. I think given my fifth is Trey Harris, I probably want 8 on this team. I feel good enough at running back with James Cook, Trayvon Henderson, Jones, Spears, and Jalen Wright that I can be done. If I take Josh Allen, Drake May, I don't need a third. That's overkill. And then we already have 3 tight ends. So yeah, this is clearly a wide receiver type of selection. We are on the clock. Fuck it, I'll go Elijah Moore. Had 100 targets the last 2 seasons. You'd expect he has some level of contribution. But in general, all the Bills pass catchers are kind of random. Yeah, I can't blame him at all for drafting Thornton there. Clear and obvious selection. But is he continued to pass on quarterback? Yeah, he still doesn't have a quarterback. This maniac still does not have a quarterback. They have Trey Tucker and still no quarterback. Insane. But perhaps Kayshon Boutte is a pick. We could also mix in Tesla as well. Make Dev happy for bringing him up earlier. Valid pick. Oh wow, we actually got Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones still available. I'm surprised he doesn't have Jackson Dart, but yeah, we'll go Isaac TeSlaa. Let's do it. All right, so here's the full team. We have a 2-5-8-3 build with Josh Allen and Drake May. Excellent quarterback room. Running back has James Cook, Trayvon Henderson, Aaron Jones, Tyjae Spears, and Jalen Wright. Feel very good with those 5. We got some phenomenal values on Tyjae, 12 picks past ADP, and then we got Jalen Wright, 15 picks past ADP. Aaron Jones, 5 spots past ADP. At wide receiver, I got Puka Nacua, Drake London, Calvin Ridley, Khalil Shakir with the stack, Trey Harris, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore with another stack on Josh Allen, and then Isaac TeSlaa to wrap things up. Tight end, phenomenal value on Travis Kelce, 14 picks past ADP. And then Hunter Henry, Cade Otton to wrap it up at tight end. Not bad. Not a bad team at all. And yeah, for the sake of entertainment, we need to take a full look at Team 9. B-Dubs 28 rocking the 1-5-9-3 build with Daniel Jones in the 18th round. They got bailed out with this Daniel Jones pick. I'm going to be honest here. Pretty shocked that Daniel Jones did not go higher than round 18. But Daniel Jones needs to have the starting job for this team to be relevant. I think he's going to have it. But running back, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Will Shipley at pick 88, ADP 177, Ray Davis at 105, ADP 134, and then Miles Sanders, 17 picks past ADP. A good value on Miles Sanders. At least credit him there. Did scoop up a good price on Miles Sanders. And then a wide receiver, they have 9 of them with Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Jawan Jennings. These first 4 are valid selections, but then at 129, took Josh Palmer, ADP of 157. Darius Slayton at 136, ADP 192. Wan'Dale Robinson at 153, ADP 171. Dante Thornton, probably the most valid pick since like the 5th round. And Trey Tucker, for whatever reason, at 184. And then they took Dallas Goedert, pick 81, ADP 138. They took Dalton Kincaid, 112, ADP 137. And they also took Theo Johnson at 160 with an ADP of 211. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 egregious reaches. 2 really good values on Daniel Jones and Miles Sanders. And then 4 legit wide receiver picks. And then 2 legit running back picks. For Team 9. B-Dubs 28, if you're watching, you have probably bigger balls than anyone else in this tournament. And good luck to you with your Daniel Jones 1 QB build. Maybe that is the combo that we need. Absolutely unique. Unique for sure. Yeah, I'm really shocked this team did not go with Jackson Dart. The fact they took Trey Tucker is pretty ridiculous. They just couldn't pass up the Miles Sanders value to grab Jackson Dart. But Shamrock, yo, welcome in. Came in just in time for me to log off. That's going to be it for me tonight. We did 3 drafts. The first one was pretty meh. Second one was pretty dope. This third one was pretty nice. And hopefully we do advance with some of them. But that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you made it this far and you haven't done so already. Hit that like button as well on the way out. And hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I got work tomorrow on set. Got a gig. So not going to be able to tune in tomorrow. That's why I wanted to do the live stream. I remember yesterday I was like, I'll probably do it Tuesday, but I'll be working tomorrow and busy. So, yeah, good luck, everyone. Peace out. Goodbye.